So you're skipping Arc Raiders because it doesn't offer PvE only, and I think that's a huge mistake. Now, I made a video about PvE potentially getting added with content in the future, and people thought it was about PvE only. And they left a lot of comments saying, I'm not playing Arc Raiders unless they add PvE only as an option. And I'm here to tell you, if you're doing that, you are missing out. And I say that as a huge PvE co-op guy. I did a whole Arc Raiders gameplay stream on this channel called Operation Friendship, and it was a blast. But I'm going to tell you why you are missing out on this game if that's why you're skipping it. First, it's a vibe, and it's got an amazing identity, and it wouldn't work if it was PvE only. This game's cinematic quality and sound design, you're skipping out on an amazing experience because I've not played a game that really gave me this sense before. That sense of persisting threat. There's these robots and they make weird sounds and they're really strong, and then there's a person suddenly there and you're like, oh, and I gotta talk to them. You're not getting to experience that. The game's identity and vibe is truly unique. I've not really ever seen or played a game quite like this. And I know you might point to other extraction shooters, but there is just something special about this game. You can see the reception, you can see the player numbers, and you're sitting on the sidelines because you're like, well, I don't want to have to fight other people. I get that, which has something to do with the next thing I want to say. You cannot have highs without the lows, and that is something that is very special about this game. Whenever you use proximity chat and you find somebody and you get them to work with you and you team up, one of the reasons it feels so great is because it might not go that great. There's a huge risk. They could betray me, they could trick me, they could lie to me, right? If it was always co-op, well, that power, that potency, it just wouldn't be there. And you're not getting to experience that moment. You're not getting to experience this social experiment where you have no idea what's going to happen. It's like its own unique story every single time you play, and you're sitting out. That's really the key point here. They are not selling you another PvP game. They're not selling you another extraction shooter or just another battle royale. They are selling tension. If you smooth out that edge of tension and it's only really robots that might kill you, that just wouldn't be an enjoyable time. You're missing out on that sense of tension, on that sense of anything could happen at any moment. Now, if they want to add content where only you have to worry about the Arc instead of other players for beginners, I think that would be great. I also think it would be great for aspirational content, maybe a limited time mode or a raid or something. But the core gameplay loop is so good because of the tension. It needs that tension to work. But I will say this. I think there's lots of potential for that PvE stuff. If you look at the roadmap, there's a new map, there's new events, new arcs, new quests. And if you like PvE, you're not going to get to experience any of that stuff because you're just sitting out. You're like, well, there's other people that might attack me and they might kill me. Why would you miss out on all this content that is literally geared to you as a PvE player because you might run into a griefer? And the thing is, all that content has a lot of potency because half of the game has this threat of other players. You're playing a new map. There's new arcs on the map. There's new quests. You don't know where to go. You're unfamiliar with this new territory. And all of that has what I was just talking about. It has that tension. It has that social experiment woven right into it. But I do want to acknowledge something. PvP is laced with risk. And I know you're thinking, I don't feel like I'm missing out because I know what could happen. And some of you even left comments and said, man, this game's turning sour really quickly. Everybody's just PvPing. Everybody's just griefing. There are ways you can combat that, okay? There are Raider Hatch keys. You can craft them. You can earn them. You can buy one a day. And you can avoid the elevators, the trams, the loud ways of leaving. You can sort of leave silently. That's a great way for you to combat the people that are going to grief. They're going to sit by the extract and they're going to wait to kill you. Believe me, I get that. Nobody likes going through that. But as I said, you need those low lows to celebrate those high highs. I also think the developers could implement something to help curb some of this down. A bounty system or something. If somebody's just going in on a free kit and they're just having a ball doing PvP, well, you could have a little bit of pain there for them, a little bit of risk to make that not so easy. Maybe even implement like a truce system. You know, you enter a truce with somebody, and if they betray you, there's consequences. Maybe it puts a bounty on them for the next hour and a half. You know, add some sort of a, you know, pain and risk that they're taking if they want to play that way. Because listen, we've all been there. If you get into a rut and you keep getting griefed by players who are just there to be killers, you know, that can be very frustrating. But that's part of the package. One of the reasons I've been so excited when I find somebody that will work with me, and we had a kid who was trying to do a quest and he was trying to find a room. We found another player. We said, hey, we're working together. You know, we don't want to fight. He's looking for a room. And this random guy that we found helped us find the room, and the kid got his quest done. That was awesome. That emergent experience, that dynamic experience would have never happened if I sat on the sidelines, and it certainly wouldn't have happened if it was just co-op. It would have just been players, you know, helping each other. There'd be no fear. There'd be no worry that, hey, this could all go bad at any point. But there is something that needs to be talked about, and that is boredom. If people get bored with this game, if they run out of things to do, everybody's been saying, well, that's just going to turn into PvP only. They're going to just go into the environments, and that's all they're going to do. That's another reason you might be sitting out. You're like, I know what's going to happen, right? I think the developers can curb that down. They can use the Arc. They can make that hard on people. Do you really want to take the risk of just going in and going PvP like crazy? Because they can have the Arc on the lookout for that. You know, Embark can create pain points for people who are going to have a heavy PvP focus. They can do updates. They can have new Arc units that are particularly focused on this. But the thing is, I know you're watching this video right now. I know you're looking at those player numbers and you're thinking, man, there's no way I'm going to sign up for that. Somebody can ruin my evening and take all my stuff. My recommendation would be just try it. Run those free kits where there's no risk. You're not going in with anything. Now, I know it's frustrating if you're having a good run with the free kit and you find a bunch of stuff and somebody kills you anyway. But this is sort of similar to the vibe of a battle royale where it's always that different story. It's always that different experiment. But this has an entirely new element to its DNA. That proximity chat, that working together, that negotiation, I really do think that makes this special. And I know you can point to other games that might have this, but there is something about the whole package, the tone, the threat of the world, that the sound quality, you're listening for people. You might hear somebody looting, you might hear somebody coming, and that sense of I'm in this threatening space and I might have to either fight this person or work with this person. That feeling that you get, the adrenaline rush, the emotion, the potency of that is so fun and so enjoyable. I really hope some of you guys decide to take the plunge and just try it out. Take the good with the bad. Take the griefers with the friendlies, okay? Take them all, because Arc Raiders, I think, is here to stay. I mean, I think they're nailing the format. It really is working. So listen, if you're skipping Arc Raiders because it doesn't have PvE only, you're missing out. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your comments below. Tell your stories. What's going on? What are the experiences you're having? Stop by a live stream and debate this with me. I'd love that. As always, remember, hit like, share, and subscribe so I can see you in the next video.